Even Beyoncé plays the game like that. Napoleon Bonaparte said, if I show up at the theater every evening, they start taking me for granted. Michael Jackson was very good about that. I was approached by a very well-known female rapper, Saweetie, and she asked me, Robert, you have some of the laws that are about mystery, appearing mysterious, creating an aura of mystery, using absence to create honor and respect. How do you do that in the era of social media, where it's all about grabbing as much attention as possible? How can you withdraw? How can you be mysterious? And I said, well, look, people are very bored right now. They're like children who've been continually stimulated with all kinds of new and exciting new toys, and you're vying for their attention. If you're always the same, if you're always doing the same, if you're always appearing the same, they're going to get bored with you and they're going to look for something else. So you have to be mysterious. You have to withdraw. If you withdraw and you're not always vying for their attention, you disappear for a month. You don't post anything, or you post something that's maybe a little bit enigmatic where they're not quite sure what you mean. Suddenly they're going to pay attention to you. Michael Jackson was very good about that. Part of it was his personality, but he would withdraw. Michael Jackson was a real kind of power person. In fact, he had the 48 Laws of Power. And when he died, they auctioned his copy of the book, and it had all of these notes in it. He had annotated it completely with his own notes. So he was very interested. But before the book came out, he understood the game of power. And he understood sometimes you have to withdraw. Sometimes you have to be one of those movie stars like Greta Garbo who disappears for 6 months, a year, or 2 years. People start thinking, what's he up to next? When's his next album going to be out? What's it going to be about? Even Beyoncé plays the game like that. The game is to sometimes withdraw from that attention cycle. Take a step back and let them start wondering what happened to you. Disappear for a while. You have to know the game of absence and presence. Sometimes you have to be absent and sometimes you have to be present. Napoleon Bonaparte said, if I show up at the theater every evening as a spectator, the audience sees me, they start taking me for granted. But if I show up a month later, oh, there's Napoleon, wow. Then I show up the next week, oh, he's coming off. And then I show up 6 months. They don't know when I'm going to show up next, so they're always having to think about him. So that's sort of the game a little bit, knowing this dynamic between absence and presence.